Yeah, that GT loss was definitely crazy. Very unexpected. And very unlike GT to make massive blunders like that. But it happens. You only learn from your mistakes. I guess when you won every single OL season that you played, it's very easy to underestimate teams and get complacent. And I mean, yeah, GT this time definitely learned the hard way, so... It's crazy that you can use that skill straight away. Fair play to them for upsetting the playbook style. Okay, so it takes a while before you can use that skill. I don't take anything away from 3379. But obviously, like, let me just actually go and look at it instead. Because it's gonna be way easier this way. Yeah, so both teams use energetic obviously at the start. Now you can see they're already dragging here to ball here. So this was their plan from before the game started, right? Now, if you notice the issue over here, there is no T1 runner. There is no T1 runner for the GT Obelisk. No one's running T1. And again, not to take anything away from 3379, but this only worked because of GT's massive blunder. What do I think was the issue? Well, there were many issues. There were many issues. And I'll go through them here. So, first issue, there is no T1 runner to the obelisk, okay? First issue. No, see, their obelisk is still not taken. Which, they even just ran here with T1s to take it before GT even did, which is crazy. First issue, no T1 runner. Rally comes in, okay? Obelisk is back in their hands. Now, second issue is about to happen. Everyone gets out of the obelisk. There, second issue. Aang leaves obelisk with the garrison. Okay. Now, this is two issues already happened. No T1 runner. Second issue, Aang leaves obelisk with garrison. Okay. First two issues have been committed. Everyone leaves the obelisk for that matter. You can see Bobaruk, Peace, Aang, they were all in the obelisk. Everyone's leaving. So the call seemingly was to leave the obelisk. Now, the third issue is about to happen in a little bit. It's gonna take a little while, but... Now, you can see on this obelisk, 14 seconds, okay? Which means... And then look at this one, 136. You see there's a big issue here. There's a big issue here. This obelisk is a little bit closer, so this should be like about 10 seconds quicker. But you can see it's a minute 30. So by now, this obelisk, GT should be teleporting in, if they had a T1 runner. Okay? So they should be teleporting in right now. But, so T1 runner, first issue, second issue, garrison and everyone else pulling out of obelisk. Now, GT plays the match as if nothing happened. Now, the third issue is about to happen. Here it comes. Master strategy being used. They actually misplaced it a little bit, but they move in, so it's fine. Master strategy gets popped. So this was their plan all along, as you could see from the start. Did I play this arc? No. I'm playing in MX. Okay. Now, third issue happens. You can see a bunch of people going back, but not everyone. There's a lot of people staying here. There's a lot of people staying here. And all I'm going to talk about is what we can see from watching it. I'm not going to talk about anything that happened behind the scenes. I don't feel like that's for me to talk about. I'm only gonna talk about what we're seeing and what assumptions we can make from what we're seeing. And now also, when you do use Master Strategy, your troops gain a 50% attack buff, I think, for a little while. So these marches are also buffed up, on top of there being a lot of them. You can see still, they're pushing to Shrine of War. They're not going back to the obelisk. You can see they're pushing here. Sky Altar. GT is being extremely complacent. Extremely, extremely complacent. And this fight is going to go poorly for them. First of all, there's a lot more marches from the enemy side, and second of all, they're also buffed up by the master strategy. So yeah, you can see this march is going horribly for GT. And they're still over here. Shrine of War. Sky Altar. You can see the issue, right? They did not take this obelisk threat very seriously. That's the third issue. They did not full commit to taking the obelisk back. Proves that there is no master strategy win arc. This is really smart only because it's an overlooked idea. 3379 came prepared. Okay, so what happened? And again, I don't want to take anything away from them. But in a normal scenario, this would never work. Which is why it worked in this case, and props to 3379 for pulling it off. But in a normal situation, this would never work. For the reasons that I just explained, right? If they had a T1 runner to their obelisk, this would have never happened. Because they would have been able to teleport in before the 3379 could use master strategy. As I showed you with the timer on the obelisk over here. You cannot use master strategy before the enemy team can teleport in if you have a T1 runner to the obelisk. So basically, the stars fully aligned for 3379. And I don't want to call it luck because I don't like calling things lucky. But it was very fortunate, I'll say, for them that they had this exact plan to go for this exact obelisk in this exact game, in the one game that 60GT did not have their T1 obelisk runner. Now obviously, that's fully on GT to realize that they don't have that before the game and figure out who's doing the T1 obelisk. That's a very, like, simple thing to fix in reality. But they didn't. And so this only worked because GT did this exact blunder in this exact game. Otherwise, this would have never worked. It would have never worked. You want to know how many plans they made? This was their plan. This was their only plan. Because 3379, they knew they had to do something absolutely crazy in order to beat 60GT. And it just so happened that their crazy plan fully aligned with GT's probably biggest blunder in Osiris League history. Sorry, not one blunder. I would say row of blunders. There were many blunders that happened consecutively. First blunder. There is no T1 runner to the obelisk, and they did not address that issue and get a backup T1 runner for the obelisk. First issue. Second issue. And they pulled the troops and the garrison out of the obelisk. Third issue, they did not full send back to their obelisk. So, yes. That was, there were a few more, obviously. But I would say that's the three big issues. There were multiple times where they could have fixed this issue. They should have sent a T1 runner as a backup T1 runner when they realized that the account was not there. After that happened, they should have kept their garrison inside of the obelisk. After that happened, they should have full sent back to their obelisk to retake it. These three errors cost them the game. But anyway, I said I'll talk about it, so I've talked about it. It was massive, massive errors, and really, really just a blessing from the sky, I would say, for 3379, that on this exact plan, GT had these exact issues, which just perfectly aligned with their plan. Like, honestly, if there was, like, money betting involved in Rise of Kingdoms, I would almost say that this looks like match fixing. But obviously, there's no point to match fix in Osiris League, right? Sounds like a skill issue? I mean, 100% skill issue. First of all, they didn't address the issue of not having a T1 runner before the game. Second issue, they pulled out garrisons and everything out of the obelisk, even when they captured it late. And third issue, they got complacent and thought they could probably fix it later. And you see, now they're trying to send, but it's too late. All these people are teleported up here. Isn't it weird that GT made the exact mistake that 79 needed? It is weird, which is why I just said if it made sense to match fix in Osiris League, I would probably think this is match fixing just looking at it. But there's no point to match fix in Osiris League. You don't gain anything. Because, I mean, what do you gain by match fixing in Osiris League? There's no real money betting involved in Osiris League, so it doesn't do anything. And you can see they just have no chance taking this back. Would I say 960 underestimated 3379? 100%. 100%. So now, with that happening, now it's all on us in 60mx to carry the torch all the way. And we will do everything in our power to win this Osiris League. This is my team, this is the team I play on. And we will do everything we can to win Osiris League. Do I think MX will win? I do. I'm confident in our team. And I do think we're going to win. So yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened in the 60 GT game. A chain of events that were all preventable, but when they all got combined together and none of them were addressed, it caused disaster. And it fully lined up with 3379's plan. So really, like as poorly played as the situation could have been by GT, and at the same time, just extreme, like a blessing from the sky, I would say. The stars aligned for 3379 with their plan, and the mistakes that GT made. Can I do prediction for the rest of quarterfinals? Sure. I'll give you predictions. And they're called predictions for a reason, doesn't mean it's going to happen, but here, I'll do my best in every realm, okay? 60mx beat ULT, my prediction. This game, I actually have no idea, honestly. I'm going to just give it to 3379 because of what they pulled against GT, but I honestly have no idea who's going to win this game. On the other side, I would say GV is going to win against OWR, although the OWR is a very good team. Here I'm going to say 75DC is going to win. And then I'll take it all the way to the final, why not? I think MX will beat whatever team comes out of this fight. Let's say 3379. And then over on this side, I think this is a tough one. The 75 versus GV. This is a tough game. But I think given this score against AO is a very good team. I will say I would slightly favor 75 DC to beat GV 77 at this point. But I don't know. I would favor 75 DC though. And then in the final, let's say all of that is correct. It's going to be 60mx versus 75 DC. And I think 60mx will win OL. And that's my prediction. But also, I'm biased. I'm very biased. I'm playing in 60mx, so I'm super biased. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I believe in my team, and I think we're going to do it. How was the vibe after the loss? Obviously not great. And in MX, it was kind of... It was kind of interesting, because like our expectation in MX, right, was like, okay, well, we'll get to the semifinals and then we'll face GT, right? And then, okay, we'll probably lose. But now, it's all on us. It's all on us.